a question from the University of London Matriculation Examination, September 1940, Elementary Mathematics 1, Ordinary Paper. The question states that the area of a right angle triangle is 120 square inch and the length of the hypotenuse is 8 inch less than the sum of the other two sides. Find the lengths of all three sides. Now, this is a lovely question. It's taken from an O-level paper. Before they were GCSE, there was O-levels, and usually most of the universities used to set the exams unlike the exam boards that we have now, OCR, EdExcel, and AQA. Most of the universities of England would set the papers. You had the University of London, University of Manchester, University of Leeds, Cambridge, and Oxford, all setting their papers back in the early 1900s. So clearly, this question is talking about or telling us about right angle triangles, and obviously we're going to have to use Pythagoras theorem to help us. So let's write down a few things from the statement that's going to help us. We can label our shorter sides as A and B. Now it states that the hypotenuse is 8 inch less than the sum of the other two sides. So we can write A plus B in brackets minus 8. Now we'll leave it dimensionless and we'll put in units at the end. Now another important part of the information that they give to us is that the area of our right angle triangle is 120 square inch. So we can write down a statement. So we know that base times height, so we'll say A times B divided by 2 is equal to 120. Okay, so let's have a look at how we approach the question. Now we know the theorem for finding the missing lengths of a right angle triangle, and it states that c squared is equal to the sum of the square of the two shorter sides. Now we know what our hypotenuse is, which is c. So clearly we know this is c. So we can put A plus B in brackets minus 8, and we must square it, is equal to A squared plus B squared. Now, obviously we've got to expand out our left-hand side. So we're going to write back brackets, bracket A plus B minus 8, bracket into bracket A plus B, bracket minus 8 equals to A squared plus B squared. And we forgot our parentheses here, so we put that in. Now we must expand our brackets. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply everything that's in the first bracket everything that's in this second bracket. So I'm going to use the partition method. So I'm going to do A plus B in brackets, and I'm going to multiply bracket A plus B minus 8 close bracket minus 8 times bracket A plus B, let's make that a little bit bigger, minus 8 bracket equals to A squared plus B squared. So now I'm going to expand and simplify. So I'm going to do A plus B times A plus B in brackets. So I'm going to have A plus B all squared, because A plus B in bracket times that A plus B in bracket gives us A plus B all squared. I'm now going to multiply A plus B times minus 8. So I'll get minus 8 times A plus B. I'll then multiply minus 8 by A plus B in the brackets. So I get minus 8 bracket A plus B close bracket. I then multiply minus 8 or negative 8 by negative 8, which will give me positive 64, and that is equal to A squared plus B squared. So I expand, so I know this is going to be A squared plus 2AB plus B squared, and I'm going to have minus 8 minus 8, so I'm going to write minus 16A plus B plus 64 equals to A squared plus B squared. So clearly A squared and B squares, they're going to cancel. So I'm going to be left with minus 16A plus B plus 2AB plus 64 is equal to 0. Now, if we go back to this statement here, this is quite important, because if we have A times B divided by 2 is equal to 120, then we can obviously work out the value of 2AB. This is very important. If you don't use this, then you can go on and you can make a mistake. So let's work out what 2AB would be. Obviously, we have that AB is equal to 2 times 120, so that's 240. So obviously, if we multiply both sides by 2, 2AB is equal to 480. So now we substitute, or we replace 2AB with 480. So we have minus 16 into A plus B plus 480 plus 64 is equal to 0. So we have minus 16 into A plus B, which gives us 544. So we have to add that on, is equal to 0. So we subtract 544 from both sides, and we get minus 16 into A plus B is equal to minus 544. We now divide both sides by minus 16, so we get that A plus B is equal to minus 544 divided by 16, negative 16. Let's move on up. So therefore, A plus B is equal to, let's do that, 16 goes into 54 3 times. Yeah, 48. Yeah. So 3 times, so we have, so a remainder of 6. So then 6 goes into 64. 16 goes into 64 4 times. So therefore, A plus B is equal to 34. It's equal to 34. And that's our answer. So we know what A plus B is. So now we can go back to our diagram and we can replace A plus B with 34. So we have that A plus B in brackets minus 8. So therefore, we know that A plus B is 34. So we get that 34 minus 8. That would give us 30, subtract 4, 26. Okay, so we know that this side, C, we know that C is equal to 26. Now we need to work out A and B. Now we know that A plus B is 34. We also have a statement that states that AB divided by 2 is equal to 120. We also know that A plus B is equal to 34. So we can make A the subject. So we have A is equal to 34 minus B. So now we have to factorize this quadratic. I'm going to do the inspection method. Now I know that we can only get B times B, which gives us B squared. Now I'm going to look at the factors of 240 that add together to give me minus 34 and multiply together to give me 240. And those factors can only be minus 24 and minus 10. Because if I did minus 24 plus minus 10, that would give me minus 34b. And then if I did minus 24 times minus 10, that should give me positive 240. So therefore I have minus 24 and minus 10. It doesn't matter whether I put it in the first parentheses or the second. So now my statement is b minus 24 is equal to 0, or b minus 10 is equal to 0. So when b is equal to 24, the left-hand side of my equation is equal, it becomes 0, and when b is equal to positive 10, then the left-hand side of my equation becomes 0. So now I have to check which values for a and b multiplies together to give me 240, and when I add them together and subtract 8 would give me 26. A times b divided by 2 equals to 120. So when b is 10, let's see, a times 5 is equal to 120. So we divide, so a is equal to, that goes 24. Okay, so when a is 24 and b is 10, if I multiply those two together, I get 240, and when I add them together I get 34, and when I subtract 8 I get 26. And if I did use 24 as well, that would be 12a. So 10. So that works as well if I use 24. So now my answer is, let's write that down. So A is 24, B is 10, or vice versa. If I put B as 24, then A would be 10. And C is 26. So we're going to write in our inch or units. Okay, so we'll check that again. So we have A times B is 240 divided by 2 gives us 120, which is our area. If we add A and B together, we get 34. And if we subtract 8 from 34, we get 26. And these are our final answer. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.